This podcast contains adult language and discusses mature content. It is not intended for children. Please listen at your own discretion, and we hope you enjoy.
Andra natisciamo Vincent Dwarvan Canariolite.
Welcome, everyone, to the Left of the Fade, the Thedosian podcast where one human, that's me, Rose,
And one elf, that would be me, Thorn, from opposite sides of the Crossback Mountains,
delve the deep roads of the Dragon Age franchise to shine light on some topics that we feel haven't been given enough attention.
So please join us as we journey through the dark and the light
and walk the road less traveled to the left of the fade. Thank you, everyone, for joining our very, very first episode of our newly founded Dragon Age podcast. Yay! Claps all around.
Around the applause, a circular.
Yeah, that's right. It's another Dragon Age podcast.
Because we needed more. We clearly needed more.
No, we did. That's the thing. We never have enough.
No, and this one we definitely needed because, there just isn't enough discussion about the kind of stuff that we want to talk about. So
yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this sort of inaugural episode 0, whatever you want to call it. So basically, so hi, by the way, formally introduce myself. My name is Rose.
And I am Thorn, as would be evident.
And we've been friends for about 2 years, would you say? About 2 years now?
Yeah, that seems about right.
And this is something that we discussed doing about a year ago, but, technical stuff, things in life, whatever, have prevented us from being able to do it. But, and basically we both saw, we have privately had very, 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 very deep discussions about Dragon Age. That Dragon Age is the reason why we became friends, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jackdaw, by the way, thank you for that, buddy boy.
Yes, thank you. Jackdaw Journalism, I think he's just gone by Jackdaw now. But yeah, he's the reason why we became friends. So if he ever hears this, thank you very much.
Cheers,
man. Find life.
Well, you're one of my best friends now. I seriously consider you one of my closest friends. I mean, we talk about so much more than just Dragon Age.
Much. So. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Dragon Age just helped us say, hey, someone like me, but, it's...
Now you're more like my sister, if it wasn't for the fact that you have fingers and I have pointy ones.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, if it wasn't for your round ears and my pointy ones, it would probably be more obvious.
Right, I am human.
And I am definitely an elf.
But there's a lot of deep themes that are evident in Dragon Age that we do. I mean, they don't. It's not like people don't talk about them. They do. We just feel like they don't get nearly as much attention as they should.
More people are interested in the fluff.
Some things are understandable. They're hard and they're difficult to discuss, and we get that. But we want to talk about them. We don't have a problem talking about them. And we want other people who want to talk about them to hear people discussing them. So
they don't feel as if they don't have anybody else who's having the same thoughts as they are. At least that gives them somebody to listen to that might either be thinking the same thing or feeling the same way about a certain thing, or at least opening up discussions between them and their friends about the franchise and the kind of things that we're talking about. Because, up until we found each other in that Discord group, we probably didn't really have many people to talk to about Dragon Age. I know I didn't.
I had one person, the person who introduced me, and aside from that, no. Well, okay, I take that back. 2 people, because my husband was willing to listen.
That's true.
not to the level that you and I.
No. Then again, I don't think very many people do much talking about Dragon Age to the level that you and I do. But
No.
other than in the Discord group where this podcast was formed and named after. Yeah, just that. By the way, you're welcome.
So yeah, that's basically the premise of what it'll be. Some really deep topics. It's not going to be completely deep though, because I think even we will get like we can't be talking about really heavy stuff all the time, and there will be lighter episodes.
Yeah, we don't
So
want to end
it's
up.
just something we want to have fun with as well as be insightful about. So
Yeah, because it's not like we want to end up with emotional fatigue.
no,
That would be
that would be tough, and I think we might it might end up becoming a chore because of that, and we don't want
yeah.
that to happen.
We don't. Dragon Age is a fun franchise, and we enjoy playing it and talking about it, and we don't want to end up ruining it for ourselves or anyone else. So, of course.
Okay. So with that, I think it's also important to point out that because there is going to be some deep stuff, uh, along with the little lighter stuff as well, our heavier topics are going to include certain things such as racism, sexism, sexual assault, drug use, as especially prevalent in stuff like lyrium. And we understand that those are very, very difficult to handle, and we get that. And some people may come to this podcast just wanting talks about, like, like they want to hear more about, like, the deeper topics, but not about certain subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So we will put a disclaimer on each episode that discuss sensitive topics. So if you want to skip that episode, absolutely feel free. We want this to be a safe place for everyone. So if you don't want to listen to it, you do not have to, and we get it.
Yeah, completely. I mean, we've all been through things, and we all know people who have been through things that we would rather not touch on in our personal lives when it comes to our computer games, because we'd rather keep the two separate. So we completely understand that, and we will not hold it against anyone.
Mm-hmm. Of
It's
course.
your choice what you take into your life, and we completely understand that, and in fact, encourage it.
Exactly. Which also means that this podcast is going to get political at times, which
Oh yeah.
I know is also another thing. People just don't want to hear about it because they're tired of it. We
Mm-hmm.
also get that.
Oh yeah, we understand
um,
that.
but Dragon Age is very political, so it is something we're going to discuss, and including there might even be some relating of certain topics to a lot of modern day issues.
Mhm,
So
including like things like religion and things as well. So we will
yeah,
warn people ahead of time when it's going to be the heavier issues.
yeah. So, and I think especially with in my mind, I automatically go to Dragon Age 2, where a lot of but all of them really, where there seem to be things that are very relevant to things going on right now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I would be very inclined to agree with you there because I mean the entire storyline of Dragon Age 2 pretty much it's like with the exception of the beer bug right now, which we will not call by name. The beer bug.
The
Corona.
beer. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I took me a minute. I get it now.
You did. Much rather
Oh,
not.
I was late on that. The
That's
beer bug. Well, it's
fine.
no. I don't even think that's accurate because that's not a bug. But I get what you mean.
Beer
Yeah.
bug. Alliteration, bitch. Leave me
The
to
beer blight.
it. Oh yes, the beer bite. That's what we.
We don't. Okay, we're laughing at the alliteration of the name. We're not actually laughing at the actual thing because it's very, very serious, and we
Oh,
understand that.
definitely.
So
My mother's in the high risk category, the highest of high risk
yes,
categories.
yes.
So believe
So
me, we are not laughing at the situation, just the alliteration, which is funny because we're clearly 12. Um, I
so intros. Who are you, Thorn?
Yeah, I am Thorn. I am an elf. I live on this side, the Ferelden side. on the forbidden side of the border. I'm just like, I am very elfy, clearly.
Very elfy.
Oh, yes.
Very elfy. I can vouch for that.
Well, I think you're not a bad Shen, you're fine.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know, you're pretty awesome for a Shenlin. You're like my sister, shut it. Yeah, I never really know what to put in these intro bits.
And
Older
if you don't
than
want to
the
say any more than that, that's okay.
I'm older than the hills and I've been through too much.
Oh, that is not true. Oh, that is not true.
Feels like it. Feels like it.
You're an elf, aren't you? Doesn't
Yeah.
that make you very, very young?
Oh yes, very young, sprightly, young and sprightly with pointy ears, a high-pitched, lilty voice, and the ability to shoot you dead with a bow and arrow from 100 feet. Careful, Shins.
Oh, that was creepy.
I don't try to be creepy, but humanity will. Now that I've sufficiently creeped out our listeners, it's your turn.
Okay. Oh, actually, first, before I think we should get it out of the way immediately because people are going to find out very quickly. Who's your favorite romance?
Colin, oh my Cully Willy, my baby, oh my boy. Yes, followed very, very quickly by Alistair, then Anders, because I've got a thing about my troubled trio. And I know
I
you
have
don't.
a thing for blondes.
Like both of us do seem to have a serious issue for blondes, because who's your favourite romance? Because Rose likes a boy that glows.
Technically, that could be two people.
Okay.
Okay, I will get into that. I will get into that in a bit, even though I think they clearly know. So I am Rose. I am a human, apparently. And I I'm trying. I'm so giggly right now.
I would say you have, but I'll probably only make you worse. So.
Okay. So yes, I am Rose, and I mean, I guess I don't really have much that is really. I mentioned that I have a husband, so I am married in real life. So I have a romance that is not a Dragon Age romance that I guess is more important to me than a Dragon Age romance.
Well, I'm single elves for life. So that's your opinion. For me, my Dragon Age romances are really low.
No, that's totally okay. I do not care. You are totally go and live that single life. You do you. You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me,
I'll get that.
Dragon Age romances are very important to me still. They are very important to me. They are a part of regular discussions between me and my husband. That sounded so much worse than I intended it to. Okay, moving on, I guess. What?
Moving swiftly on.
I guess I could say that my favorite romance is Fenris, like, more than any, like, is the only romance that I immediately saw. I was like, yes, him, and stuck with forever. Like,
Glow me up, baby. Glow me up, baby.
what?
I said, glow me up, baby. Idea.
I wonder how many people, because of this episode, are immediately gonna. There's gonna be one or two things happen. People are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I want to keep listening to this," and the other half is gonna be like, "No, no more of this."
No, I can't deal with those crazy harpies. Please. Yeah, that's probably going to be the majority.
So yeah, it's Fenris and like Zevron and Blackwall. Actually, I know that's gonna surprise a lot of people because he's not that popular, but I adore Blackwall.
You just love a bear,
So
though. I mean, who doesn't love a big old bushy Viking ass bear?
not normally who I like. That's the thing. It's so it doesn't fit in the type that I normally like, but yet I did. So
Usually
I
it's
don't
little
know.
live blonde elfie boys for you, isn't it, dear? Little
Usually
live
they're live. Yes, they're live. Yes.
and the blonde, usually elfie.
So I do enjoy Alistair though a lot. He's very he is I enjoy him. In fact, whenever I play Origins, I struggle between Zebron and Alistair because I still love them both very very dearly. But
But don't get me wrong, I love Zev. I absolutely love Zevran. You know that.
yeah,
But
no 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 no, I know.
I have sort of, I'm autistic, so I have sort of gotten stuck in my
I
little
get it.
routine of my troubled trio. I can't seem to get past Alistair, Anders, Colin. Alistair, Anders, Colin. I've tried. I think I did manage. I think I did manage to romance Fenris in two at one point, but yeah, I don't. I don't think
That's already amazing because I've played Dragon Age 2 12 times. And I have not been able to romance anyone but Fenris.
but
I
where
have romanced Anders while also romancing Fenris. And that was about as far as I got.
you dirty
And then
girl?
I chose Fenris.
Yeah.
So I know about the stuff that happens in the other romances because YouTube exists. But I also don't at the same time because I don't want too much spoiled for me because I want to experience them myself. So I know some stuff from other people and YouTube clips, but I try to avoid as much as I can. But the problem is I can't break out of my loop.
Oh, believe me, I know it took me a lot of self control to sort of like steer myself away from Anders in that Dragon Age 2 playthrough. I've even managed to branch out slightly in Inquisition as well, because I do have a couple of other favourite romances from Inquisition. Absolutely. I'm yet to finish my Soul of Ellen romance. Oh, and how my heart is going to be broken, I am well aware. I have been warned. But I also am desperate to get to the end of an Iron Bull romance because he is like seriously, just seriously. I don't even have other words. Just seriously.
Well, we can talk more about that in a later
Oh,
episode.
yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that we've got scheduled to come up at some point
Yeah,
in
at some
the
point.
future. Yeah. So we shall go further, we shall delve further into the depths of our depravity and our favourite romances in future episodes.
So, okay, so Thorn, how did you come to Dragon Age?
Right. Well, a guy I was seeing at the time who is still to this day one of my closest friends, one of the best people I know. He actually introduced me to Origins, not really thinking that I was gonna get into it. It just sort of like he was like, here, you wanna try a game, try this one. So I picked it up and I started playing through as a dual wield rogue because I mean, well, you know me, Rose. Dual wield, fuck a shield, you know. So I was playing through as a dual wield rogue at first, and like as soon as I this is how pathetic I am. As soon as I met Alistair, that was me. I was gone. As soon as I met Alistair, I was gone. I was hooked. Right. The storyline is absolutely fantastic. Right. I absolutely hate Turn Logain. We'll get into that at another one. Definitely, because. But since he introduced me to that game, I have genuinely have not looked back since. In fact, I do believe I was watching the most recent teaser from Bastards of BioWare. Have you really?
Oh, that's something we're gonna have to get into.
Definitely. I was watching the most recent teaser, and I swear, literally, about it must have been 30 seconds into the video, I must have shouted out at the top of my fucking lungs, roughly like that. And yeah, deafened the guy sitting next to me, like I said, my best pal. And yeah, I'm obsessed since Origins. And that was about a year, 2 years before Inquisition came out. So I was quite late to the franchise. I won't lie. I was quite late to
Later.
the
I was
franchise.
later, don't worry.
Yeah, well, late arrivals apparently were going to be the last ones to leave. Um, I'm telling you, like, with the way the fandom's been going on recently, folk aren't even entirely sure that BioWare's going to make it, you know? So,
I think they will. I think they will. Just think that there's a lot of people who've just sort of given up on it, but I still have faith in them.
kind of understandable they'd given up on it considering Andromeda was such a bomb scare and Anthem didn't really do much. So it's understandable that people are a bit skeptical, but like I said, I still have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit in the elven gods. Leave me to it, thanks. No judgment here, people.
Don't worry, I won't.
That was more aimed at the listeners.
So I actually came to it, like I said, later than you. I think it was 2016 that I came to it. Um, and my friend actually, like one of my best friends ever, like we've been friends for like 20 years at this point. And she showed it to me, and she was like, "You're gonna want to play this game." And I was hesitant because I do not like games with combat. I get very anxious. And I freak out and I don't like to fight things. I just don't. I've since become a little more like lenient about that now. But and she was like, I know. She's like, I wasn't a huge fan of it either, but she's like, it's really not that bad. And part of the reason why it really was not that bad is because the combat is so slow and
Oh, it is
so
so slow.
personally it worked in my favor as someone who gets freaked out about combat. So I am the sole person to exist who liked it.
Well, I'm an angry Scottish elf. I just like hitting things.
No,
So,
no, I get it. I get it. And actually, playing rogue was a choice because you seem like you move a little bit faster if you're dual wielding, just a little bit, so it's not as frustrating.
oh
So
yeah. Don't get me started on bow and arrow elf and or don't get me started on the bow and arrow rogue build in Origins. I will literally break down.
I don't. Oh, I just realized how much it's gonna sound like we're ragging on Dragon Age because they're okay. We love it, we adore it, and
Like
like
six.
your siblings whom you love very very much, you still find issues with them.
Oh yeah.
So
Don't get me started on my fort. Like seriously, that could be a podcast in and of itself. Um, so yeah, we're not in any way, shape, or form, and never would we rag on Dragon Age or Bioware or anything like that. We are absolutely beholden to the bastards. Give us the game. Give us the game. Um,
hey, every rose has its thorn. Ah,
God, I did wonder when that was going to come in. I did wonder if that was going to sneak in at some point. You got there, but I both. If anybody watches Business Plays, you are a legend, by the way. Sorry. Just slight side note, I stole that from Simon Whistler on one of my favourite one of my favourite YouTube channels. So I just pinched that. Please don't sue me, Simon. Please. Or send ETA at me. I really don't need a space heater coming for me. I have more issues than you care to know. Um,
But so I did decide. I relented. I'm like, okay, because she showed me the customer creation screen, and I was like, oh yes, I like this. This seems very customizable. Okay, I'll try it. And I played it, and I was getting a little frustrated. But I was just playing it. I'm like, okay, I do like this, but I'm getting frustrated with the combat. And she looked me in the face and she said, play it. When you get to Dragon Age 2, you will thank me. And she was talking because it's who I'm interested in, like in TV shows and movies, whatever. Who I'm attracted to has become very predictable.
Oh yeah.
So she knew, and she was like, "You will thank me."
Yeah,
So
I get
yeah,
with you.
um,
Read your Bahamut Virgin Soul, anyone? Oh,
that's not here.
excuse my random anime reference.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying we won't get into that.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Um, I feel like this is probably a little too late to say this, but I hope that they would have figured it out at this point. But because we've already played all the games multiple times and everything, and we're delving into deeper issues, this is going to be a very, very spoilery zone. So if
Oh
you
yeah,
don't want spoilers, you should not be listening to this podcast at all.
yeah. You should probably pre-record some sort of like thingy, some sort of disclaimer to put at the beginning as well. It's just after the intro. We'll go intro, disclaimer about spoilers, continue with the crap waffling.
So, yeah, and then I did play Dragon Age 2, and guess what? She was 100% right, because I did play it through Origins. I loved it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually loved it. I want to immediately. So I purchased it, and I'm not someone who ever buys stuff for myself, like, ever. So this was a pretty big deal. And I played it, and then I met Fenris, and I was gone.
And I can just imagine your wee face. I can just imagine your face when you saw him. Jaw drops and hits the floor. Tongue rolls out like a cartoon dog. And the panting begins. Because, you're all about that, what was it? What is it? How is it you put it? Oh yes, wholesome thirst. You're all about that wholesome thirst. Aren't you, Rose? Totally wholesome. Isn't it, Rose?
It's totally wholesome. I just like to look at him. I don't want to do anything else.
Ah, yeah. It's the kind of wholesome that you couldn't put on a children's channel.
You're doxing me right now.
Well, mildly. Nothing that everybody else in the server doesn't already know. And they're probably going to be the only people that listen to it for a while.
Well, I don't know where we're gonna go from there. I mean, really, we kind of covered what we're gonna do in this episode, and now we're just kind of going off the rails.
we could have a short conversation about, stuff. Right, so now that we've covered our introductions, who we are, what we're going to be talking about, I actually want to bring up our Dragon Age 4 wish list, Rose.
Yeah,
Because
it's pretty good for an introductory episode. A lot of people have them, so.
and I am well aware that you have, while not overly expensive wish lists,
I mean, I guess.
that I don't think are going to be met. But we want things that.
Oh, I'm sure. There are some things that I think we're gonna get. There are other things that I know I'm asking for and are not gonna happen, and I just have to deal with that.
Oh, believe me, there's at least one thing I know that is definitely not going to happen, and it will break my little heart. But it's fine. I'll cope somehow. Probably with Colin. That's how we usually cope with things. So yeah, Rose, what's your DA4 wish list? Let's hear from you this time.
Well, I think I have a lot of things that a lot of other people want. Like, I want better hairstyles to begin with, but that seems like literally every single person who likes these games wants that. It's so I felt like there was in each game there was only one that was really good. And I mean, I guess I've sort of, because I play on PC, I've kind of overcome that with mods, but I guess, whatever. It would just be nice. And I think with it being next gen and everything, they are going to be a little bit better. Like they're probably going to flow better and look better. At least that's my hope. So, but um talking about wholesome thirst, and I'm not going to be able to defend my position here that I just like to look at them.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Um so I want
Say it like
more
you're in the notes,
more
Rose.
sexiness. I
Say it
really
like
hate
you wrote
that you
it in
can
the
see
notes.
my notes.
Say it how you wrote it in the notes. Go on.
I wrote, "Give me all the sex steaminess."
And that's my best friend. Mhm. Oh yes, and I am with you on that one, sister. Definitely.
Okay, here's the thing. I understand that there are people out there who probably don't want that. They may want like to romance this certain person, but like with Inquisition, there were certain people that you didn't get any sex scenes with and others that you did, and I think there was always that hope of like they like this person, but maybe they don't want things to get sexual with them. Or maybe they do like this person, but nothing sexual happened and they wanted it. So I want there to be optional sex scenes. I mean, not only that, for like, you know, also I feel like that sort of adds to the whole. How do I put this? Like, I don't feel like sex should necessarily be included. If you don't want that, you should still be able to romance them without that.
No,
So you should be
definitely.
able to say yes. So either skippable sex, well, okay, I guess technically they're already skippable. I just mean like they're not necessarily for the romance to develop.
Yeah.
So I want that. I absolutely want that 100%. But
You mean sort of like a system, like the choice system in the game, where you can choose how you respond to things. You could be like, choose to
yeah,
snuggle with them instead of actually have sex with them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that it still makes it like they're still willing to like the romance is still there. They still very much like you and you can carry on like normal. Like that's I don't know. I just would really like that. Um I don't know.
No, I'm actually completely with you on that.
Mhm.
Totally. Because, I mean, I know that there are certain people out there who might not, I mean, there are asexual people and
Yeah.
aromantic people. And I think if that would be a better way to sort of represent the kind of relationships they would have in their life. And I think that would be a more fair way to represent people, uh, all in all, is if they sort
I
of
think
give
it
us
gives a
more.
good message of consent too. That's not to say that I thought the romances in Dragon Age were non-consensual. I didn't.
And we will
Because
get to where
yeah.
that did come in and which game that did come into, though.
Mhm.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
I'm
So
with you on that.
it would just be nice, give me more sexy steaminess, but also leave the option to like, if you don't want it, you don't have to have it, and it doesn't affect the romance. That's what I
Yep,
want.
totally with you on that
So,
one.
and of course, give me Fenris. I want more Fenris. I mean, I think at this point, it's probably I think out of my wish list, that's probably the thing that's most likely to happen in Dragon Age 4, just from what we've seen.
Oh
But
yeah, if
give
it's
me,
where it looks
I
like.
would like to see him.
Oh
I
yeah,
I know he won't be a romance option anymore, but that's okay. I just want to see his face.
Rose, if that happens, I swear I will be so happy on your behalf.
I will scream.
I know. I'll probably hear you all the way from the other side of the ocean. um, uh,
The scream heard halfway around the world.
but you know what will happen if a certain short, hairy dwarf becomes a romance option in the next game. You know who's going to be screaming right then? This bitch.
Yeah.
Because, my god, I love that. Anyway, yes, on to your next, you know, item.
So I've mentioned that I don't like the fighting in the game. So I'm probably the only one who wants this, and I recognize this is not going to happen, and I know that, but I'm just going to put it out there is I want a system where once you beat the game, it unlocks something so you don't have to fight the fights, because I want to see all the choices, I want to experience all the romances, I want to do all of that. I don't want, unless it's a fight I haven't done yet because of choices, then that I get. But any fights I've already fought, I want to just not do them. Have the option to not do them.
Yeah, no, I understand that one. I mean, I personally, like I said, angry Scottish elf, like hitting things. So I'm just more than happy to, like, stabby, 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 slash, slash. So, I get it though, because, like you said, you just really don't like that aspect of the game that much. So, I understand that. I can only hope for your sake that they implement something like that. I severely doubt we will, because why would they?
I know we won't. Although that does lead into another thing that I want, which is basically I called it a super easy baby I don't want to die mode, because I am a terrible gamer, and even the easy mode is hard for me. Like when I first played Origins, fighting Bronco was more difficult than the Archdemon.
Oh
It
yeah.
was so much harder. I just want something. I just want to experience the story. I don't want to struggle with the fights. I don't like challenges. So
Oh, and saying that, how you ended up married to your husband, I have no idea. Because that's a challenge. But then again, I can only say that because he's kind of like I am, so, and I know I have a challenge.
oh my gosh.
Oh, I know I am, so let's not worry about that. Aye, next item, dear.
Oh, I do want. Okay, we wrote this before this was announced, so I think at this point it's kind of been confirmed that yes, this is going to happen. But I want Dragon Age 4 to carry some of the like messages and themes that we have seen recently in politics, because I think there's some very important messages there. And I feel like, well, it hasn't been like confirmed, but just the fact that they said it is going to be more political. And I just feel like, knowing the BioWare team, that there's at least going to be something. However, I probably want it to be more specific than they're actually going to
Yeah.
get, because I'm weird. And I mean, a lot of the issues going on today, I guess I just want like some sort of metaphor or relevance in the game because I'm strange. I know that's a controversial opinion, but when has Dragon Age not had controversial issues in it?
Oh,
So
never. They've never not had controversial issues in the game. Never.
um
No, I'm completely. I'd quite like a big orange blonde-headed thing I can fire a lot of arrows at.
I
So
don't think it's gonna get that specific.
no, I don't think we're gonna get that blatantly obvious. No, but I can only hope. Because I have some rage to take out.
You don't live here.
No, I know. No, this stems simply from like
No, I get ya.
one thing. Well, not one thing, two things. So
Yeah, yeah.
I remember what I'm doing half the time. Be careful, Thorn. Behave. Yeah, no, it's. I get you. On to the next point.
I do want more missions like Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts.
That was really good.
I think in this episode, one thing you're gonna learn is I really, really do not like combat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so there wasn't as much fighting, but there was also intrigue and cleverness and stealth, and I I also would actually like it if the game was a little shorter. I'm gonna sit here and wait for people to throw stuff at me, because I feel like out of everything, that's probably the most controversial one. But I mean, okay, I thought Dragon Age 2 was great. I thought Inquisition was getting a little long, but I thought 2 was a great length. And if we could have it about that, like, mwah, chef's kiss, like that's what I would like. But yeah, I did like the whole playing politics and stuff. Like, thought that was very unique and very interesting, and I would love, 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 love to have that. Um,
Absolutely. I'm again 100% with you on that one because I did love Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts. I did. It was a really good mission. And I'm not saying that like in comparison with other missions. I just happen to really enjoy it. I really love like intrigue and stealth stuff and sneaking about when people can't see you. I do enjoy that kind of thing. It's why I pick Rogue more often than I pick anything else, because I do like having that sort of the ability to sort of I'm just going to yeet myself around here when nobody can see me and do something nobody knows I'm doing, you know. So
felt
totally,
very, very mystery. I think that's what it was. Is like
yeah.
sort of the mystery, and that was what about it that was cool. So yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So, but and I want to know more about Fiona and Alistair. I
Yes.
was so unsatisfied in Inquisition when there was only a little, and they never really like he never knew and everything, and there was nothing like came about of it. She just
Mhm.
asked questions, and unless you've read the book, you might be very confused what that was about.
Like
So
like any good Alistair Stan, I need that information.
I
Like,
want a
seriously.
reunion of some kind. I want something to happen. Him to know is something.
Yes, I need my baby to know what's going on with it. You need to know the truth.
He needs to know the truth. Although I do think that it might cause some issues if he's king, because yeah.
Yeah, half elf.
But whatever. Like it still, I would love it. I want him to know at least something. Like
Yeah, I want him to know as well. Oh, you already know that I do because I to go slightly further into my Alistair romance loving. That boy beats himself up constantly, and you can see it in the way he's portrayed. Beats himself up constantly over what he believes happened to his mother. So he needs to know the truth. He needs to know the truth. We all need the facts, but nobody more than Alistair.
Alistair needs
So,
it the most, yes.
yes,
Even if it was just a little blurb, like just Alistair found out, like I want to know that he knows.
yes, definitely. It would put a lot of it would put my wee heart at rest. It really would because I feel so bad for him. But then again, I am sort of in love with him, so I'm going to feel bad for him.
No, I feel bad for him too. I mean, I love the guy nowhere near as much as you do, but like I want like give that to him, please. He's a good guy.
You already know what I'm like about my tortured individuals. It's like, oh, you're broken, let me fix you. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like that with computer games. Like, uh,
I want more banter.
oh,
I
definitely.
felt like the banter actually dropped through the games. It seemed like there was a
Yes.
lot in Origins, quite a bit in 2, but still not as much as Origins.
Yeah, and then
And
great big swathes of time where nobody said anything in Inquisition, and it was like, could someone
nobody, no. I think I actually had a bug where, like, because I guess it's supposed to be like every 5 or 10 minutes. Mine never. It like never happened ever. I even downloaded a mod to make it happen more often, and it didn't. I don't know what's wrong with my game, but nope. So the only banter I know about, it comes 90% of it is from YouTube.
To be fair,
So
90% of the banter in the game comes from Dorian, so.
really?
Oh, well, no, not really, but I mean, that's just a personal. 90% of the best banter in the game, in my opinion, comes from Dorian, but then again, um,
Oh, I thought it was something that was generally agreed upon, and I was like, really? I did, but I mean, how would I know? I don't hear the banter.
if that was something that had been agreed, I'd have been. But there is a reason I take Dorian with me everywhere.
I take
Even
Dorian with me everywhere too, but like I said, I don't hear his. I mean, I hear it occasionally. It just doesn't happen as often as it should. That's the thing.
the voice
So
is
when it happens, and when it happens, I usually miss half of it because I don't realize it's happening until halfway through. I'm like, wait, what they just say?
someone whose banter I have never heard. It's on purpose. Vivian.
Yeah.
I
Same.
cannot, like, we will go into this because we've got an episode coming up where we're going to be discussing our, like, most loved characters and our least loved characters, although probably by the time we get to that episode, everybody will already know. But I hate Vivian with a passion.
I'm kind of there with you. I think she's
Yeah.
well written,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't like her.
I'm pretty sure she's written to make you hate her. So the writers have done a great job there because I won't set fire to the bitch. But yeah, I'm not nice when it comes to Vivian because she's so up herself. And anyway, moving on. before before Thorn gets caught up in her hatred of Vivian and goes off on a rampage.
More fast travel locations.
Yeah,
I didn't feel there was enough.
I, I,
That's all I
I
have to say about that.
yeah, I get you.
More variety in body proportions, make them look real, and yeah, body sliders. I
Mm-hmm.
would like.
Yeah, definitely.
um, and I mean, I guess this isn't necessarily anymore. I put this down because it's something that's personally affected me and the people in my life, and I haven't really seen anything represented similar to this in a game before. Maybe I'm just not in the know, but I would like to see something that's at least similar or speaks volumes to the anti-vax movement that's happening and the major issues that's causing,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a problem.
As
So
someone, like I say, so as someone who is autistic and is very much against the anti-vax movement and everything they stand for, I am 110 million% behind you on that wish because I want to see it too. Because I want to put some arrows in some science denying people.
I feel like that's a very personal thing, and I don't think we're gonna get something like that. But at least something that you could at least, like, philosophically say is a metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think we're gonna get it, but I would like it. But it's probably the most specific one I have, I think. So,
Probably.
mm, so
Right. Will we move on to my wish list, or the ones that we've pretty much agreed are
why don't we move on to yours, and then
right?
we can talk our general ones.
Okay. Well, much like you said, Rose, I most definitely want better hairstyles. I need better hairstyles. Dreadlocks, people, you've heard of them, right? I mean, I have dreadlocks in my real life. So, I want to be able to, even though in real life I'm not actually an elf. I mean, I may be very elfy, but physically my ears aren't pointed yet. But I want to be able to represent myself properly on the screen. I want to be able to fully immerse myself in the game, and I don't feel like I can do that if I don't have a look or a style that represents who I am. So, like, dreadlocks, I would love to see piercings. I would love to see piercings
Your
as well.
things would be great. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
So, like, better hairstyles, piercings, tattoos, right? Tattoos,
I
but
mean,
not,
okay, we had Vaseline. We didn't really have tattoos,
yeah,
but
tattoos,
yeah.
but not like the face tattoos that you get in dwarves. Not like the castless and stuff like that.
On
Not
on the tattoo thing, I have to make a comment.
mm-hmm.
So Zevron's apparently covered in tattoos, but even in game, there are points where you see him naked, and he has no tattoos. So yeah,
Somebody's
either
gonna
he is
attention to
lying or so yeah.
no, totally. I just think, and like you were saying earlier, body shapes and stuff, something that's more like the Dragon's Dogma character creator that would give you more freedom and more realism, to give you more of a chance to fully immerse yourself in the game and actually sort of feel as if it is you. that's making those decisions. I mean, obviously, it's you making those decisions. Because, but as if it's actually you in the game, if you know what I mean. It would also be really, really nice if you could save pictures of your characters and or your companions to consoles, because I am a console player, without using the screenshot feature. Because that is a pain in the butt.
To explain that.
I play on console.
Take pictures of it without using the screenshot feature.
Yeah.
I think my brain's just breaking over that sentence.
Like, if you could, instead of having to take a screenshot of your party or your character or one of your companions, like, if you could, like, isolate them, almost like you do if, I don't know, if you play The Sims, right?
I played as what?
You play The Sims, right?
Yes.
Right. You know how in The Sims you can take photos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see.
Something like that. So it works like that. Obviously not a camera, because we're talking medieval fantasy here, but if it was a mechanic, something like that, like
something where you can just hit one button, like just quick, and it's done. Gotcha.
And not the option button on the PS4 controller, thank you very much, because that's just a screenshot. I would much prefer to just get the character and not the whole screen.
Gotcha. I get it. So you just don't want the stuff on the toolbar at the bottom and everything in the way.
Yeah, I don't want all that stuff. I didn't want all the guff on the screen, as we call it over here in Scotland. Guff. I don't want all of that. I just want either like my character or my companion, so that I can either display it as so that I could use it as my avatar on PlayStation, or I could keep the photo and use it as my wallpaper on my phone, because I am that sad bitch. Colin. Because I am that person. I have had Colin wallpapers on my phone. So, just something that way that it would be a lot easier than having to screenshot and all that kind of stuff, which can be a bit of a hassle, especially in the middle of a game. When it comes to game mechanics, I would really, really, and I know this is where you and I differ, because you really want that sort of super easy baby, I don't want to die mode, but
I want the option for it. I want both options, so everyone's happy. So
I would like to see a return to DA2 combat mechanics and targeting. Because
out of all of the games, that's the one I did like best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought the mechanics in Dragon Age 2 were so much easier.
I play as we've discussed, I play as a rogue more often than anything else, but playing as a mage in Dragon Age 2, while devastating on one hand, because God, I have to put up with fucking Carver, but other than that, the mechanics
with Carver, it's just Bethany. I can't lose Bethany. I'm sorry. I will never play as a mage because of Bethany. Moving on. I'm sorry.
I did it once. And that was when I was romancing Fenris. So you'll understand how that didn't go so well at the end of the game.
I get it.
But what was I saying? Yes. When I was playing as a mage, I had to put up with fucking Carver, and I can't stand that bitter wee bastard. I would gleefully take my dual wield daggers and eye holes. Let's put it this way: I'm dual wielding. There are 2 eye holes. What do you think I'm going to do? Okay. But the mechanics when you were spell flinging, as I call it.
Spell fling, spell casting?
Yes. Singing spells, what are you laughing at? Seriously, the mechanics of the spell flinging, spell choking, the mechanics of that was just so much easier, I found, than in Origins. Even when, there is a reason I fell so much more deeply in love with rogue builds in Dragon Age 2, other than the fact that you didn't have to put up a Carver. That was how easy the game mechanics were. So I would love to see it return to DA2 game mechanics. Don't get me wrong, I love Inquisition. It's seriously one of my favourite games because finally I get to actually romance Colin. But because that I've been waiting for since game one. That I have been waiting for since Origins. So that is why Inquisition is my favourite. Let me just put that straight with you. But yeah, the combat mechanics in Target and the DA2 would be much preferable in my opinion. While they were good in Inquisition, they're better in 2. I happen to think it would allow the game to flow better, you know.
Agree with you.
And I happen to be one of the people who would most desperately, vehemently, passionately love to see my little, hairy, smart-ass, bad boy dwarf Varric as a romance option, please. Good God, BioWare, give it to me! It's either that, or, if not him, perhaps a romanceable dwarf voiced by Peter Dinklage, or am I asking too much now?
Well, okay. I just in general, a romanceable dwarf in general would be nice because there hasn't been one.
Yeah, but I have a huge crush on Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand that. I was gonna say, or someone who was, or just someone voiced by Peter Dinklage, just in general. But I mean, both would work too. If you combine both, that would be great.
Yes, you would have one very, very happy little elf here. I'll tell you that much.
I personally am not on the Varric romance train. I feel like one of the very, very few who is not there. He is my best buddy, and I adore him, and we are friends for life. And it's because of that that I can't romance him.
My problem is that I have far too many characters who are either unromanceable as females. Dorian, I'm looking at you. Understand it, but please God. He's just so pretty. He's just so much fun. Like, it kills me. So he's my bestest friend. Like, my best friend in the entire series. Guaranteed every time, without fail, Dorian. Right there.
I'm the same. Dorian is my best friend in every Inquisition playthrough. He becomes my best friend. I think there's even a point, he may not, it may not be word for word, but I think he says, "You are my very dear friend," and that just kills me. Like, every time I'm like, yes, my best friend.
Really. So, what else I would like to see? Yes, I would also love to see the lore be more accessible in the game, right? Because while you get those codexes, right? While you get the codexes and you can read them and stuff like that, they can be a bit dull.
Agreed. Right? I don't know a lot of the lore because I don't want to spend time to read the codexes, which is very sad because I found that some of them are very funny.
Whereas I am an absolute whore for lore, and I will sit there and read the things anyway, right? Even though there are times when I'm like, this is dull. But
you are going to be our lore expert on this podcast then. Because I got it. If you want Fenris or Bethany lore, I got you. That's all I got, though.
It's something.
That's all I got.
I am a complete whore, and I need more information about Thedas, about the entire world, everything. Give me more about the Canary, motherfucker. Seriously, I need to know more. I need to know more about the race that came before the Canary. I need to know more about, the rituals and routines of the Canary. I need to know about the King. I need to know more about everything. And that's been one of my issues with Dragon Age, is that the lore isn't particularly accessible in the games, but outside of the games, in the graphic novels and the books, and all the other stuff, it's a lot more accessible. But that, if you're pretty much a broke-ass elf who's living in the woods and doesn't have any money, it's really not. You can't go buying graphic novels every few months when they bring one out, or it's just not as accessible for those of us a little bit more skint, as we say in Scotland. So it would be nicer if maybe there was like some sort of presentation or some sort of like short cutscene, or something that like pulled you back into the past and gave you this bit of lore information or something like that. Just something that's a little bit different from codex cards.
With you, I think it would definitely make it more interesting, and like you'd get more of the lore into your brain.
Definitely.
Easier.
Absolutely. More missions like Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts, because it wasn't just bashing things with a stick till they died. I mean, like I've already said, I am a huge fan of hitting things, especially with other things. But I don't want everything to be bashing something with a stick till it dies. I like cerebral. I like having to use my brain. Give me puzzles. Like, see the puzzles in Inquisition. Oh my god, those were fun. And that.
Some of them were fun.
Yeah, some frustrating.
Very frustrated with a few of them.
Yeah, the few that like, oh my god, gouge my eyes out and kill me now, please. Because otherwise I'm going to scream.
An hour on one puzzle before I gave up and looked it up.
I would love to see the Lord be more accessible. I'd love more missions like Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts, because using my brain is fun. Maybe not so many of the frustrating want to repeatedly drive my head into a rough cast wall kind of quiz type, puzzles and stuff. Because there were some that, I mean, I've only ever rage quit one game once in my entire life, right? But I rage quit this game so hard, I threw the console off the wall, not just the controller. So that's what it was. So, but there are some puzzles in Inquisition specifically that get to the point where you're like, this controller's going to become a flying missile very soon if I don't get this. So, more cerebral, not necessarily quite sticky in places. Otherwise, just give me more Thetis, give me more, and with them having pretty much said that this is exactly what's going to be happening. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see Tevinter. Can I just point that out? I cannot wait.
Oh,
it's pretty much been. They pretty much went, we're going to Tevinter! So.
That was basically the entire internet. We're going. I mean, I think it was pretty. We knew that was going to happen already, just because of the way Inquisition ended. But then when we saw the concept art, it was.
I am moist in places I shouldn't be. For that fucking concept art, it's so good. It's so pretty.
It's very pretty.
Then again, the concept art for Dragon Age is always beautiful. Always.
There were a couple of characters in that concept art that I was like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And then I can't remember his full name, but that Ike voice actor, he was in that.
Voice.
He said something about the Grey Wardens, I think.
Well, the Wardens.
Whoever he was. His voice was very nice. And I really hope
yes, it was.
Romance option.
Yes, it was very nice, and I thought it was a romance option too. Because that voice.
I was like, I like that voice.
Yeah, that's suffice to say, like I said, moist, bitch. Moist.
Wow. What's the rating on this podcast?
R. It's rated R for random as hell and really funny. And also probably not safe for work.
Well, anyone who's playing Dragon Age is probably been exposed to stuff already. So considering the game is rated M, I'm gonna assume that you know what's coming.
Yeah, if you played Dragon Age Origins and spent any time whatsoever with Zevranar and I, believe me, anything coming out of Mammoth is going to be next to nothing, okay? Because that boy filthy. That boy is filthy and everybody knows, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying.
He's classy though. He's classy, but
True, sort of, ish, in a sort of sexy Italian way. Why do you think I like him? I mean, I think we're all aware.
there's nothing wrong with Sevron being a filthy little boy. We like him that way.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. God, I'm getting arrested or something. Purely for that voice is illegal.
That voice is illegal. Fenris's voice is illegal.
Oh no, see from Colin. Seriously, oh my god. Genuinely, Colin's voice, Barrett's voice, and Alistair's voice. And I am gone. Seriously.
Okay. So we kind of have a general, like, sort of mutually agreed upon, like, wish list. So, I mean, you already touched on Varric as a romance.
Yes, everybody wants this. Give us it now, please, BioWare. Give us.
Like I said, I personally am not. He's my best friend, and I can't romance him because of that. But I want him to be a romance option for those people who want him. So
if you love me,
yes,
yeah.
I want him to be a possibility for the rest of you. So,
and obviously, people want Scout Harding as well, which for me, not really somebody that I'm all that interested in. She's a great character. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, she is a great character, and I love her.
Just not necessarily someone I feel the need to see more of.
I feel like we don't know enough about Scout Harding for me to decide if I want to see more of her, I guess.
Despite the fact that we don't know enough about
Whereas
her.
Varric has been in 2 games.
Yes.
And he was a major companion in 2. So I'm a little more, I feel like Varric is more important as a romance character than Scout Harding is. But
although going on to our next person that people want as a possible romance, or certainly definitely want to see more of in the game, Krem.
I want Krem as a romance. I want to romance him so much.
I want more Prometheus.
I love him.
He's so cool. Oh my god. Seriously.
And he's just a good person. Like, he's so good. Like,
I'm so clever. He is so clever. Seriously. I think that is massively underplayed. I mean, I know he sort of points you in some of the best directions for like quests and stuff. But genuinely, I think Prometheus Classy is so intelligent, and it is massively overlooked. Not simply by Iron Bull. I think the Iron Bull has a good idea of how clever Krem is. But I think it's sort of more overlooked by the other members of the Inquisition. Like, he's just sort of seen as the Iron Bull's right-hand man, and that's kind of it.
I like Iron Bull, but I have to say I liked Krem more than Iron Bull.
But
so
we will disagree on that one, but
that's okay. There are actually going to be quite a few things we disagree on. So
yeah, like let me just point out, right? I have never in my entire life found Freddie Prinze Jr. attractive until Dragon Age Inquisition. Like, as soon as I heard Iron Bull's voice, I was like, oh. Little ginger elf over here, and I heard you like redheads. You know what I mean? Oh boy. Oh, that man makes me warm in places.
Oh my gosh.
It does. Iron Bull is just num 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 num. Anyway. The next topic of conversation: the branching stories and quests. There needs to be more branches, more shooting off, more other things that you can do. Why is everything so stunted and like and that's it? You know? Why aren't there more branches and possibilities? Like, it's great. You get a lot of choices.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like that's something I could kind of understand as much as I want it. I really do want it. I could understand because that would be a little more work and be more script. And I get it. Like, I get it if that is not a possibility. We both want it. I think a lot of people want it, but
yeah.
I get it if it's not possible.
Well,
So
we both understand it. I mean, they are a company who have a couple of companies who have
mhm.
been under a lot of pressure recently, especially, like I say, with the beer blight going on as well. They've had a lot of issues there too. So, you know, it's. Although, still, seriously, BioWare, give us the goddamn game, please! Oh, I can't believe we're going to have to wait till next year. So that's my dog come over. That's Joker come over to see her.
I don't know. I hate to say this, but I have a feeling it's going to be longer than next year,
Yeah, I have a
especially with the
too.
chaos that's going on right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So I will wait as long as it takes.
Oh,
So
oh, me too, definitely. I mean,
I will wait forever for you, Dragon Age.
me as well. Like, also the choices that you make, right? Great that they change the way your story goes, mostly, right? But it would be really good if the people in the world actually reacted to you in a
I
different
think
way.
out of everything on this list, this is probably the thing that I want the most of all.
And other than Varric, I would be inclined to
It
agree with you. This has to be
is
one of the things that I want most.
reacting to deciding if you want to become a blood mage.
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't, you could become a blood mage in two, and
Mm-hmm.
that is basically the very crux of the story, is the way mages are being treated, the Templars thinking that all of these people are horrible, and then mages becoming blood mages, like so many of them are becoming blood mages. It's, I mean, obviously it's, it's because of the Templars,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's, and and if you become a blood mage, nobody reacts,
Mm-hmm.
and that I think the biggest disappointment too.
I mean, I thought the very fact that nobody seemed to react to anything into
Fenris
was
would have reacted if you had become a
that,
blood mage.
that
Anyone, he was the most likely to react, and he didn't. Like, nobody reacted. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Fenris doesn't like normal mages, let alone fucking blood mages. So you know, he should have.
And then you can romance him as a blood mage, and
Which
he's like,
like
it's
is
fine. He would not say it's fine.
not a hope. Like he would lose his fucking mind. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me? There would be wine bottles flying across the place constantly. He'd have lost his silver-haired.
yeah, yeah.
That is, I mean, it would have been sexy to watch, but it wouldn't have been much to be on the receiving end of. But regardless,
It's just the most, like, I feel like that was, it was it was the most necessary in two for people to react to you becoming a blood mage.
like, just look at the way Alistair reacts to you if you choose to kill Connor in Origins.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff should have been continued through the games. You
Hmm.
know, because Alistair genuinely becomes kind of cold to you at first when he first talks to you after it. And then once you discuss it with him, if you choose the right responses, he eases up on you. It's only like if you don't, it eventually does come the end of the conversation, which is kind of a pain in the arse, because if you're gonna have me blunder my way through this conversation, so I'm saying things that are making things worse. He's not then supposed to turn around and be nice to me at the end because he's somehow finally of his own volition come to the decision that I was right. That's no, no. It doesn't make sense. And the very fact that, like you said, of all the people that would notice if you became a blood mage and who would definitely not be happy with it, and two, Fenris would have been it. Especially if you're romancing him. You think a second as a romance option, if he was acting properly, he would have stuck around. He tried to kill you. You know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. That's one of my main bugbears. I do not have many bugbears to Dragon Age games at all. But the unrealistic way that your companions and the people in the map areas surrounding you react to you when you make certain decisions that should have a much more, you know, profound impact on the way they're treating you, don't. And that's nah. It's just no right. It needs to be fixed, and hopefully by 4 it will be, because it is. I think it is quite a big thing that kind of ruins the immersion.
Yeah, I would think if we're gonna be into Vinter,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah,
So I would
especially
hope it would be.
because there are going to be like being a blood mage should in some circles get you some good reputation, whereas in others it would get you a bad reputation, you know? So there should be some. I mean, the mechanic, I can't see it being that difficult to add in that kind of mechanic when they were capable of doing it for the companions in 2. If they could do that kind of mechanic for your relationship with your companions in the second game, they should be able to do that kind of mechanic for your relationship with certain factions in 4, especially with them having more up to date and better equipment and better software and processing systems, and all the kind of stuff that they'll be using in their crazy little fucking offices in Canada to make this. So they've got the equipment, they've got the capability. Just for the love of the gods, give us it, please, because it does ruin the immersion so much.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's the one thing that's really, really needed.
I
And
think that's
something.
Yeah, I think that's the only point. I mean, we have another couple of points there which are both valid, but I don't think we would be as vehement about. Maybe the last one, but I don't think we'd be quite as vehement about as this one, because, like both said, it just pulls you to the game. You're not quite fully in it because people aren't reacting properly. It's a pain in the butt.
Again, I think it's important to reiterate
Yes.
that we do love Dragon Age, and
Oh,
there's so
absolutely.
many. I don't want people to say, oh, you say you love it, but you harp on it. I harp on so many things that I absolutely love. Like
Oh,
nothing is perfect, and we know that there is nothing that's perfect, and you're not going to be able to please everyone,
and
and
if
we
you're not
know
honest
that.
and if you're not honest about the things that you don't like, nobody's ever going to change them either.
I wouldn't have
So,
played Dragon Age 12 times if I didn't love it as much as I did.
yeah,
Like there's so much good with it. There really is.
no, there's a
But
reason that I chose Dragon Age as my first game to stream.
mhm.
So, because Dragon Age is, to me, one of the 2 or 3 big game loves of my life. As I say, like I've got 3 computer game franchises that I'm particularly enamored with. Dragon Age is, I would say, my number one. So,
We do. We wouldn't care so much about these things
you know,
if we didn't care so much about it as a franchise.
if we didn't love the franchise so much, we would be like, don't you like? Don't care. Because I'll play it, but I won't invest much time in it. Whereas you and I invest so many hours in Thedas. Like, seriously, we've spent so many hours in Thedas, and, in our various little parts of Ferelden and Orzammar, and, all over the map. We've invested days and weeks of our lives into these games. Literally, in my case.
That, and we're not militant on, like, people are allowed to have their opinions. Like, we
Yeah, of
don't,
course.
as long as they're not harmful opinions, people are allowed to have their opinions. Like
Just,
there's major differences in things, like you've already heard already, and things that we like. Even I disagree strongly with some of your interests, and you disagree strongly with some of mine, and
like,
that's okay.
yeah, like I love Anders.
I
I
can't stand Anders, and that's
exactly.
okay. And we're gonna talk about that, and that's okay.
Anyway, the last couple of points on our general wish list. Please, just give us long hair. Like long hair. Long
Tied pretty,
hair.
even if it's tied back in like a pony or something, that's fine. Like, I understand if you're fighting, you don't want it in the way. Cool. Give me a pony.
Yeah, like give me a ponytail or like a bun or something, but I want it long. just please, because you're
Or
not gonna.
raid, or,
Yes, like some Lara Croft shit going
I
on.
want it to be obvious this person has very long hair. Something that's longer than the shoulder blades.
Oh God, yes. Oh, fucking make her yes, and I don't say that because I'm a Dalish, but seriously, that genuinely, and this, I mean, I suppose it sort of loops back into the needing more hairstyles in general, but
Probably, yeah. I
seriously,
guess I'd rather have less hairstyles and have long hair options
yeah,
than the other way around. So
I suppose. I mean, technically, personally, I would just prefer to have more of everything because I'm a greedy bitch. which
yeah,
is which is how we come to the last point, actually. Better Val Royale. What is with this teeny tiny little fucking patch of nothing that is supposed to
the
be Val
way they
Royale?
talked about it previous to this made it seem like it was supposed to be like Versailles or Paris.
Their hype game,
So
their
to come
hype
into
game
this
for Val
and
Royale was
see,
strong.
yeah,
And then the follow up was disappointing. I love Val Royale. The architecture is gorgeous. You know me. I am a
mhm.
massive Sims player, so architecture for me is just eye-gasms everywhere, okay? But the the architecture in Val Royale is gorgeous. My problem is there's nowhere near enough of it. There's nowhere near enough. It's so small. Only a small elf. But
Mhm.
please, I know I'm only a small elf, but Val Royale is too small. It needs to be bigger. They need more buildings, more architecture, more people. Because it was supposed to be this bustling metropolitan, center of arts and
Yeah, it
uh,
sounded like
fashion.
Versailles or Paris.
It sounds like Paris in the late 1800s, and you're like, yes, excellent, this is going to be brilliant. And then you get there, and like, there's a handful of wankers, and nobody's doing it, and nobody's saying it. And you're like, what? Is this it? This is Paris?
One of those, one of the concept arts was one of them, Val Royale, or am I? Because I know there was definitely Tevinter,
Hmm.
and it was speculated that one of them might have been Antiva, but was one of them like supposed to be Val Royale too, or am I just
I'm not
pulling it out
sure.
of it?
I'm not sure. I would need to double check that, if I'm honest.
I mean, I guess we just saw buildings and stuff
Yeah.
in places. We don't actually, but one of them maybe, possibly, might have been, but
Mhm.
yeah. So
And we can only hope that they've added more to the map. Because seriously, while I am all for fast travel and stuff like that, great, fantastic.
well, they had previously said that we had only seen a small area of Thetis, that there was a lot more that we hadn't seen.
Yeah,
So
well, here's hoping that really, really goes for Battle Royale. Because seriously, it's like a fucking shoebox. Give us more, please.
yep, I agree.
Absolutely. But I think we've come to the end of the wish list there, Rose.
We have.
I do believe we have, yes. What
I'm
shall we?
sure there are more that we'll bring up as we go along too,
Oh,
but
probably. Expect a part two for the wish list, ladies and gents. Seriously, expect a part two. We're pedantic that way. I'm sure we will come up with something, as the pair of greedy bitches that we are, where we will want more stuff. Give me more stuff. The vertical salts that we are when it comes to Dragon Age. We just vertical salt, and that's what we want. Give us it now, or else. Um, what's the topic for the next podcast?
I don't know. I almost feel like it should be a more lighthearted one before we dive into something that's deeper.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
So,
About, how about in the next episode we do some BuzzFeed quizzes that are
yes,
Dragon Age related?
yes, I'm down for that. That'd be
Excellent.
great.
I think that'd be fantastic, and I think hopefully all of you out there will love that too, because I think
That'd
it's
be
going to be a lot of
great.
fun. Just as long as I don't ever get the answer of Vivian on any of them, I think I'll be fine.
That'd be great. We'll have to find some and have them like stacked up.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. Okay. Um,
How?
We don't have an outro planned.
We really are going to have to think about that one.
Yeah.
Are we putting? Will we be putting this up on YouTube?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was
right.
that was the plan. Is
Right.
YouTube.
Well then, it's pretty. It's a pretty simple one. Just like asking people to like, subscribe, comment.
Okay. I
Oh,
mean,
we could put in a question for them.
a question?
Yes, it's great if you put in like a call to action, like give them a question, ask them a question that they might want to answer in the comments.
Okay. What
Remind
question?
there's a question. How about we go with our favourite romance? Right? I'll type
We'll
up.
start off with a simple one, a simple, easy one.
Yes.
Favorite romance. Tell us your favorite romance. You can tell us why, or you can just leave it as the name. We don't care. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Please forgive our stumbling outro. We're still figuring some of this out.
Most definitely.
So,
We're still new.
we'll come up with one. Yeah.
So that's it. We've come to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end if you did. If you did, you're an absolute star and we appreciate you.
If this wasn't your thing, then that's okay too. We still love you.
Yes, we do. Much love from Thaddeus, ladies and gents. Please do remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss when we upload again. And feel free to pop any comments, questions, any sort of suggestions in the comment section, and we will get back to you. I am sure.
Have been Rose.
And I have been Thorn, and this has been Left of the Fade. Thank
you for joining us on our journey.
Thank you, and good night.
Good night.